Yeah! Here we go! My balls is constantly moving, new and improving, knock down we never go. My balls are ready to do it, speed kicking through it, take us to the top. Welcome to my show. Did you know that your mom is That's what she is. Hey, you guys.
Yeah.
We've got a guest.
Heyo!
Holy
Oh,
shit!
my goodness. The magic man, Brendan Schaub.
Magic, straight magic, gentlemen.
If anybody could appear and disappear and reappear and all that stuff, it would either be you or David Blaine. And you know what? I'm just surprised that you're here. David Blaine being here would be just as big a surprise.
I don't know.
It is to me. I'm gonna get into it straight away.
Oh, wow. All
All
right. Let's do it.
I've been trying to hold off because I felt like you've been present this whole time. So you have helped me a lot. And I have to be honest, I've said it on the show. I would have said Brendan Schaub would have been one of the last people to step up because Brendan Schaub's busy doing his own shit and he really doesn't have time for anybody anymore because he's so busy being on top of the world. And I didn't mean that in a bad way. I was like, I've been there before where I was so occupied. I don't even know if you're in need. I wouldn't even know. For you to be the person that stepped up the most, who has the most, in my opinion, the most knowledge and how to go about it the way I would want to go about it in podcasting, for you to be that helpful, I feel like Brendan Schaub has changed. I know when I did Fighter and the Kid and we talked, I felt like when you were talking to me on there with Catherwood that you sounded like something had happened where you had realized that you might have been a little up in the clouds and you'd made some big changes and you appreciated people a lot more. And then all of a sudden I get dropped from Sirius and you reach out to me like, hey man, and I'm fucking freaking out. Like that's the hardest day I was freaking out. I thought for sure it's all over. And you were like, come over to the house. No one else is trying to do that. It was like 5 people. It was a handful of people like, hey man, you all right? And those people forever I'll never forget because it's a big why. What? I mean, and that's my question. Why? What did you change? Do you think you changed? And why are you helping me so much? Why are you in my fucking studio?
Yeah,
we can't get anybody, but you're here.
Yeah, I think I've always been like this. I've always been like this since day one. I've helped as many people as I can, but it's sometimes you're not in a spot to help. And for me, I went through some transitions. I've been in your spot when I got fired from Fox. And I just remember how alone I felt. And then, so I have that experience. I've gone almost identical to what you guys have gone through, almost to a fucking T. But I had a partner in Brian Callen to rely on. But then Brian was his show just launched, The Goldbergs. He was having a spinoff, so it was a big deal. So he was kind of like, hey man, this podcast thing, if you want to continue it, you figure it out. Like this is your project.
You felt like he got a little preoccupied himself.
But I knew the rules going into it with Brian Callen where he was like, hey, I have this spinoff show. I'm doing an ABC TV show. The podcast is whatever to me, man. That's your baby. You figure it out. This is your project. If you
He'd been working on the TV thing for forever, and he was on Mad TV.
But he just got big.
Exactly. He was finally getting over the hump of the thing he'd been working on from before he met you.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but your hair is getting fucked up by your headphones. I don't want you to be on the show like that. You sure? Because you look better. Yeah, there you go.
We don't want to do you like that.
Thanks, fellas.
I don't want you to say something completely hilarious, and it's the bit where everyone's like, is he trying to make a statement? Is that a mohawk?
Man, this hair's ridiculous. So, I've been in your situation, but long story short, I've been in your situation where Brian was like, you do it. So I've gone through it where you're figuring out and it's fucking scary, man. And I realized like, you kind of got to do it on your own. Like only so many people can tell you so much shit until you got to figure it out on your own. So I figured out on my own. I hustled, worked with other networks, studios, and I was like trying to like makeshift this whole plan, figure it out, finally got my feet into the ground and got the show running again. You know, it's like a snowball effect. So I had that help. So that goes down. And there's only one way to learn is through experience. So, you know, from my position, I know what you guys are going through. So I reached out to you. I care about you. We're friends. We don't talk every fucking day, but I would call you a friend. So when I found out what you were going through, I went, man, I know what he's dealing with. I've been through that. And here's what I think I can help with. I can help you with this. Yeah. I don't need anything from you, but this is what I wish someone would help me do when I was going through my troubles. And then in 2020, obviously the allegations against Brian, that's another curveball. So with Brian X in the show, you're revamping, you got to rebrand, you got to do.
So you felt it again, like recreate again, and you're like, dude, I just did this, and now I'm just did this, but we had like a 5-year split between that. Just did this, but if anyone, the way I looked at it is, if anyone's going to go through this and salvage the show, because there was a point where I was just going to quit the show. I woke up, I was like, I don't need this, dude. This is exhausting. Right.
But then I was saying, I'm like, man, I know exactly the pieces to move. I know how to make this happen. And I work with big companies. People come to me for advice with podcasts, and I help Showtime out with all their shows. This is what I do, man. So why wouldn't I help you when you need help? So it was a no-brainer, man.
That's why
I told you when you came over. We're sitting outside under that little bidet.
I'm going to remember every single part of it.
And I was like, dude, because you were in it. I know exactly how you feel. You were in it. And I was like, dude, I'm telling you, in 3 years, we're going to look back on this and we're going to laugh because you're going to fucking crush it.
I was tearing up.
Yeah.
I was like, seriously.
I was too.
I was telling him, that was where I was. I'm like, am I homeless? Like, how bad is this going to go? And I don't care as much about me. I care about my fucking kids. Like, I don't want any of my kids telling me, oh, this is your house, Dad? Like, what? I mean, my kids are young enough to just flat out say shit that it's going to hurt. They'll be like, whoa, what this is your car? What the fuck happened? Wow, I know you got fired, but wow, I didn't know it was that bad, Dad.
You're not going out like that. I wouldn't let you
obviously,
go out like that.
but it does. When you're in that position, because day to day when you're doing your thing and things are pretty good, you don't recall a whole lot of your day. Like I did the show, it was great. I saw some people, it was great. That thing, I'm like, I've reassessed everything. Like, what have I done? Was there something that I missed? Was, did I do the wrong thing? Whether I did or I didn't, obviously it took like probably 2 weeks for me to assess everything, but I was concerned that maybe this is my fault. Maybe I dropped everything. And it's not Sirius XM's problem. It's just the show sucks because you suck now. This is the spiral that I can get into because I'm a dark guy. And I mean, I have to work to try to stay up all the time. Like I said, it's embarrassing that when you call, I'm like, what the fuck is he calling me for? Because I don't think you care. I don't even think you think I'm your friend. Until that text message, that's how I thought. Not actually, Fighter and the Kid, like I said, when you were talking to me and you were like, yeah, man, sometimes I did this. And now I'm like, man, that's not really the way to handle it. And I've seen and I'm like, wow, man, because these guys can attest to, there was a time there where I was just like, shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're fucking talking about. I mean, everybody. And then I was like, wow, they're just as responsible for this show being successful as I am. They're here every fucking day, just like I am. And you don't say one thing nice about anybody. Yep. You just go, if you did it right, I'm not saying shit. If you did it good, I'm not saying shit. If you do it wrong, I'll fucking tear your head off. Yep. And it was a terrible way to exist. I felt bad about myself. I felt bad about our relationship, which also in turn makes me paranoid that they don't like me because why would they? You're an asshole. So I feel like a lot of this growth was just in time for this Sirius XM thing to happen, because if it had happened a couple of years ago, I don't know if I could have handled it. I think I just would have gone like, obviously nobody fucking cares and I should just go back where I came from, which you're in a better
place now. But that energy that you had, where listen, I was the same way. Where you have blinders on, man, and if anyone's not, you don't notice everybody helping you out. You don't know who got you to where you're at. No. You're just like this, and you're an asshole. But if you can channel that energy and make it for the better, that's when it works out, man. It's just experience and going through shit.
Fans of the show over the age of 21. I want to tell you about YoKratom, the home of the $60 kilo. How much? $60. For what? A full kilo. Now, knowing what a full kilo is, Jason Ellis can talk about it a little bit better. If you're a current fan of Kratom, you can get it from my newest sponsor, YoKratom, for $60 a kilo. Trust me, a kilo is a lot. And for $60 compared to buying it at every other place, you got to be joking me. This is the best deal ever. I had no idea what a deal they were actually offering. If you're not a fan of Kratom, ignore this ad. The fact that, so we can move on. The fact that YoKratom is the highest quality Kratom for just $60 a kilo has no relevance to relevance to your life. This is the greatest read I've ever done. But if you are a fan of Kratom, everybody, listen to this. It's time to stop overpaying and having to go to corner stores and gas stations. That's not cool, man. Trust me, you need to go here. One more time. Kat, don't attack me right now. Thank you. I want to say thank you to YoKratom for sponsoring this amazing podcast. And if you're into Kratom, YoKratom is the place where you can find the $60 kilo. These guys are the biggest Kratom wholesalers, and they created YoKratom.com. That's right, YoKratom.com, so that you can buy directly at incredible prices. Last time, YoKratom.com, home of the $60 kilo. Hey, everybody, Jason Ellis here. Finally doing an ad for Onnit. A real ad, not just saying, go to Onnit.com/Ellis. I mean, I sneak one in and then the buses don't get in trouble. No way, baby. This one, look at, I got the bottles right here. This is Alpha Brain, and I'm doing it. I'll do it. I did it today, and this is Shroom Tech. I haven't done it yet. Want to work out? Gonna do it because it works. And if you want a discount, go to Onnit.com/Ellis. If you like the show, if you like me, if you like the boys, if you like us, you would buy your stuff at Onnit, all your nutritional stuff. You got kettlebells, you got supplements, you got the sweet. I got a t-shirt on right now. This is my favorite t-shirt. Nobody's paying me to say this, I swear. Okay, I'm getting paid. But this t-shirt, off camera, turn it off, and then this is my favorite t-shirt material. They make the greatest t-shirts in the world, and they don't even want me to talk about that. They want me to talk about Alpha Brain, new Alpha Brain. Get it. And when you get it, you're going to be smarter and more brilliant. People are going to like you more. Who doesn't want this? You would be crazy not to take all my advice. I am a great advisor. Onnit.com/Ellis. Thank you. Willing to admit your wrongs is the biggest one to me, because I see with the country today, some people just are like, nah, that's the way it is. They sort of kind of remind me of Uriah Faber when he lost to Dominic Cruz, and he was like, no, I didn't. And then they both sat down and watched the fight, and I'm like, you're fucking losing this fight. He's like, no, I'm obviously not. And I'm like, how do you not know that you lost that? Like twice he won, dude. Same thing with this, where, it's relationships, everything, where I came to the point where I was like, you need to find, you're wrong. And I'm willing to, sometimes I think I jump too quickly to I'm wrong, just because I know that that's a good way to solve the problem. I'm like, wait, did I do it? Let me think. Did I did this, I did that. I'm like, oh, no, I think I'm in the clear on that, but I always jump to me first, because usually it is me. Usually I did say something.
But I also think for you guys, like, there's nothing better than owning all your shit and not being let go by the man. And there's also nothing better. And I don't think Sirius is rooting against you.
They're not at all. They've been trying to help us. We have talked to some other people there that are going out of their way to help us, and which makes me feel way better, as I already established. Did I do anything wrong? No, man. We fucking love you. You did great work.
We're just
we can't afford to keep you.
Yeah.
And we don't want to choke you.
Yeah, and Howard Stern's really expensive.
And he doesn't
took all the money.
And there's no promo on that. Like, they're never gonna promo you, even if I fucking knocked out Logan Paul tomorrow and pissed on Floyd Mayweather. They're not going to be like Howard Stern and Jason Ellis. It's legally not even allowed there. You cannot rival him. You're not allowed to.
And that's fine. And then also, they're helping you out, which is great, but there's also nothing, that success is the best revenge. And I'm not saying you have revenge, but the best way to do this, you guys blow the fuck up, which you're going to, and they're like, Serious, what's up? I'm like, man, I'm glad that worked out. It's like, yeah, no shit, you fucked up, man.
I should probably keep,
because the rest of the show sucked.
I have been getting a little bit negative lately. I've been trying to stay super positive, and lately I'm like, let's go, and it's like, all right, it's out, and it's like, it's gonna take some time, Jason. And
it's a slow boil.
Yes,
it's a slow fuck, especially in the podcast, because there's so many podcasts.
When I was verklempt and you said 3 years, I remember going 3 3's nowhere near as long as 10 because I've done that a couple of times in this game. That's what I was telling my wife this morning. I'm like, we're starting again. And I remember when I used to drive from Temecula to Hollywood every day to do the show for $75K a year. And I was like, I'm going to fucking make it. But do I want to do that again? No, I don't want that road again. If I'll take a quarter road of that. I'll do a quarter of that, but I'm not doing 10 where it's like in 10 years from now. I'm like, if you heard the Jason Ellis Show, I'd be like, fuck off. That's 25 years. You just heard of me.
You're in a different place now, though, where you have a fan base. Like, you're not starting from fucking the bottom anymore. You know, you're at least in a lane.
And like people like you are on the show, and the Pope is here.
This is a very special day.
Yeah.
I have to come and bless the first guest of the show.
Yeah.
And I noticed, no offense to Brendan Schaub, I know that he has had the Rona, and he does hang out with like some Rona suspect people.
For sure.
So you're in the Pope Mobile for all of us or just for Brendan?
This is also to protect me from my enemies.
Yeah, no, you played it smart, Pope, because I was thinking about popping off a couple shots,
Yes,
but now that I see you got the Pope
Now
Mobile.
you have that. Yeah, I'm going to put my gun away. Yeah.
Yes, good luck, bad guys.
Good luck, bad.
Brendan Schaub, very good to have you here. Yes.
Thank you.
Bless you, my child.
Oh, shit, you got blessed.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
I got blessed.
I don't know if you were Catholic, but you are now.
Yeah, I am now. the Pope's been liking the IG model thoughts pictures. Have you seen that? You haven't seen
I
the
did. We
Pope?
talked about that. That's
Yeah.
right.
You got me. I like it. I like it, the cakes.
Yeah.
I like the cake.
He likes big butts.
Yes, this is true. I give you now magic powers, Brendan. Schaub.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
You
Thank
can now fly.
Thank you.
Hey, Pope.
Pope's losing it.
You're like scientifically, you respect science. I've heard you say some shit like, hey, man, go easy on the gays. It's probably a real thing and shit. I see that. How are you, I have a question, like a scientific question. We have electric shit in our body, yeah?
Very much electricity.
Right,
Yes.
and we're 75% water.
That is true.
How come, Pope, we're not being electrocuted all the time?
Why do you think you can move your arms? It is the combination of electricity and water that give you power.
Oh, wow.
Right, but
I feel like I'm back in church. These are
Yeah.
answers that aren't really answers.
yeah, that wasn't even close
feel
to
like
the...
this
How
is
dare you?
bullshit, like
I
church.
curse you.
Oh, did you do an upside down cross?
Yes,
That was
I
awesome.
did.
Yeah, wow.
You go to hell now.
I'm not flying home.
Fucking sweating today. Feel like
Imagine
if
being
anyone
in the
should be...
Pope-mobile.
I know, right?
Yes, would you like to try my robes on?
He's saying it's warm in the Pope Mobile.
Yes, I have very sweaty tits right now.
You look dry.
It's probably so hot in there.
It seems like that, right?
Yeah.
It could be worse. I mean, you were in a gas mask the first time, right? That one seemed like it was way harder to breathe.
I did not like that.
Right. Why?
That's very
Are
bad.
you like half?
Oh.
Are you cursing?
Not
Here?
like
Yeah,
that.
like you started some shit, but where are we going from there?
It's also Pope, a little bit of Dracula. You know what I'm saying? It's
Wait a minute,
At
isn't
this-
the Pope kind of a little bit of a
a little
Dracula?
bit. Yeah, a little bit.
At
he's
this
Transylvanian.
point, I am pot committed.
Wow.
I have to keep doing my magic karate chop.
Right. It's almost like you're running for governor or something.
Yeah.
It's like if you instead of that, oh wait, you karate chopping.
Yes, this is very powerful men like to do this and
Right.
chop.
Okay.
All right.
That way you know. Very powerful. Hey,
Oh, yeah.
All right.
All right.
Hey,
All right. We got the scoop from the Pope, so that's important. I needed to know about that.
Hey, can I ask these guys when
Yes.
when the Sears stuff happened?
Yeah.
How did you guys feel about it?
Like the second I got the news, it was kind of a bummer. It was, you know,
Because everyone, just so I know the background,
Yeah.
everyone was on salary from Sirius, or were you guys employees of Jason Ellis?
No, on salary for serious.
Gotcha.
we were on contract and yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and basically
Sirius employees.
we didn't get fired. The contract did not get
Yes,
renewed. Immediately, it was really scary. My wife kicks ass. I had actually sent my wife to stay in a hotel because just this whole year has been so stressful. So I finally did the cool romantic thing, and I was like, "You just go pamper yourself for a night." And then I got the news. I dropped her off at the hotel, and then I went and took my kids to a playground, and I got the news that I got fired. I'm like,
That's
"Well,
fun at a playground.
I won't tell her tonight." Yeah, chasing around a 2-year-old and being like, "No, seriously, we're going now."
I know.
It's the first time they ever saw Dad drink at dinner.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then I put it on Twitter, and then people we know in real life, not just like professionally, start hitting me up going, "Oh, are you okay?" And I'm like, "Oh, fuck." Now my wife doesn't follow my social media, but I'm like, "Don't tell her. Don't tell her. She's at a hotel. She should not be getting a text right now about this."
Yeah, let her enjoy the night.
exactly. We'll deal with this tomorrow. So I went and saw her at like 9 o'clock in the morning to take her out for breakfast. And she's like, what's up? And I'm like, I don't have a job. And she's just the coolest. She was just like, don't worry about it.
But she has a job.
She runs a business. She owns a business.
She's good.
Yeah. So that obviously helps quite a bit. And, it just didn't take that long for me to get, I can't explain it, dude. I'm excited.
Thank God.
It's super weird for you to tell like a really tough story while this fucking jackass is getting
He's
dressed.
all like-
He's getting dressed out of the Pope right next to you in a fucking cylinder. It's like, man, that's tough, Michael. But I'm just really trying not to laugh at this idiot. Let me get the cylinder off you, dude.
Yeah, don't mind me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, good luck with that.
Tell your story, Kevin, while I release you from this cylinder.
Yeah, I think there's going to be one of two reactions. Either like, fuck, it's over. And then you go into some other line of work and you get a 9-to-5 job.
Yeah.
Or there's the guys who are like, I'm not going out like that, man. And you get excited and you build your own shit.
And I feel really excited about the fact that because of the internet and the podcasting sphere, that we have that choice. Nobody, and again, I have no ill will towards Sirius whatsoever, but they decided, you guys aren't really worth it anymore. And it used to be, you go, you used to like a TV show and it got canceled. And that was just the end of it. Those guys just didn't show up the next day and get in front of a fucking iPhone camera and keep making the show. So I just like that we get to do this, and it's been a very soft landing. The fans have been incredibly supportive every which way. And, if it peters out from here, that's on us.
Yep.
Nobody took that away from us.
Guys.
So I really like that challenge.
Yeah.
I really do.
Love it.
Hey, everybody. Jason Ellis reminding you, one of our sponsors, Coolven and Lean Feast. Both these guys always helping us out. First one, I'll talk about Coolven. If you're tired of having to eat cold meals on the go, maybe it's time to check out Coolven. Coolven is a soft-sided insulated meal bag with integrated and detachable meal heated chamber designed to heat and eat your next meal on the go, with insulated storage for up to 4 meals and power options for 110 or 12-volt applications. Coolven allows you to bring your meals with you and heat them up just about anywhere you like. Your daily nutrition just became a whole lot more portable with Coolven. Visit coolven.com and for the list of retailers, or order one yourself. Don't forget to use code Ellis at checkout for a 10% discount. If you have a Coolven and then you go to Lean Feast, and then Lean Feast gives you their meals. Let me talk about Lean Feast a little bit, because these go together. These can go together and make you stronger, faster, healthier, better, more efficient, just a more brilliant human being. Who doesn't want to be that? What's up? Why would you not want to be brilliant? Lean Feast is a fast, casual dining experience of convenient, clean to eat food. It aims to be a fast food interrupter by changing the way Americans eat for the better. Gone are the days of shopping, cooking, portioning, and cleaning yourself. With over a dozen franchise locations nationwide, Lean Feast brings convenience and satisfying daily nutrition to your family life on the go. Visit leanfeast.com. Go find a store near you and place your order online for pickup or delivery. Don't forget to use the code Ellis for another sweet discount. 10% off, you bastards. Glad to say that, aren't I? Thank you, those guys. Woo!
Yeah, I mean, I got the phone call 45 minutes before I started doing my own personal side podcast. So that was just like, I was sitting there just like the soul had drained out of my body in my living room, and I'm like, holy fuck. And I'm just staring at the floor, and it's like, oh, I got to go tell fart jokes now.
Yeah.
So I sort of snapped out of it, and then was just like, I mean, when I moved, I'm from Jersey. So when I moved, I worked for Sirius XM in New York, and I just quit and was like, you know what? I'm going to try my shot at LA. And I didn't know anybody out here. I didn't have any connections. I didn't have a job lined up. I just threw myself at it, and I was like, let's see if I land on my feet. So once I got over the shock of, being told that, show's gone, you don't have a job, I was like, you know what? I feel like I've faced stuff like this before, and I feel like I'll bounce back.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need a kick in the ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Toe Jam and Earl shirt. I haven't seen that in
fuck
forever.
yeah.
Fuck yeah. Sega Genesis.
Did not think Schaub was going to compliment you on your attire. I got to tell you, that was the last thing I thought I was going to hear
Toe
today.
Jam and Earl? Dude, that's fantastic.
Oh,
Deep
yeah.
cut.
This
They
guy
brought
has
it back.
shoes that match his fucking car, and he's complimenting you. That's crazy. What do you still want to do the TV thing now that the world is evolving? I remember at one point you were like, host of the morning show, shit like that. What's the guy with the big gap in his tooth?
Strahan.
Michael Strahan.
Yeah, like you want to fucking take Strahan's
I don't
career?
think, no, I don't
You
think
don't,
so.
right?
That's
Because
not
now
for me.
it's not.
It's not for me.
That doesn't sound anywhere near as cool as what you already have.
No, yeah, there's certain guys where, it's like in our circle, I was talking about this with Tim Dillon yesterday.
Still trying to understand him.
Great, you would love Tim. Dillon.
New to the whole podcast game, so now I'm following people, and I'm like, oh, this guy seems to be popular.
Monster.
And I think I got in there right when he did an Airbnb, and Airbnb were trying to.
They banned him.
They
He's out.
banned
They
him
banned
because
him.
he was.
As far as talent, like
Oh my-
comics, he's our next. He's the next big thing.
Oh, okay.
Stupid talent.
So because so he's way more a comedian. The podcast is gigantic because of how funny he is.
Yes.
Okay.
Comedian by trade, came out of New York, monster. Then when he came out here, he just exploded because he got in everybody's podcast.
And is
was
he
like, fuck?
Is he a Trump supporter?
No,
He's not.
no, he's just no.
Because I'm telling, because I think you'll find this amusing. I'm just fresh in, and I go, okay, so he's hanging out with Joe. Joe likes him, and like got a little bit of a pushy thing, or he's making fun of some people, and I'm like, is he like a crazy Trump guy?
No,
or-
not at all. No, he
'Cause
makes fun of everything.
Right.
No, he makes fun of everything. He's a gay man. He's
gay?
He's gay, and he's a guy where you press, like we had him. He's co-hosting King and Sting this month because Theo's gone. So
Where's Theo?
He's in Nashville. He's doing
Oh,
like this
he's
live
okay.
show. He's
Okay,
fine.
okay.
Yeah. He just couldn't fly back. So we had Tim Dillon filling. He's a guy where you just hit play and then you shut the fuck up.
He
And
just
you go,
goes.
hey man, what happened with your Airbnb? He's like, what? And then just you just let it go.
Nice.
Yeah. Monster.
Yeah, I'm starting to catch on with.
stupid talented.
He's
Stupid
making fun
talented.
of you hanging out with a bunch of Asian guys and
So
being worried
funny.
about COVID. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
he's so funny.
for a white guy to make the joke of any race these days, you better be this better be a funny joke, Like, if I'm like, hey, Schaub, I noticed you got a lot of Asian guys in here. Next couple fucking words better be good, Jason, because right now you're pretty fucked.
And that's what Tim's like one of the last comics who he's not worried about the PC world. He's just firing from the hip.
Maybe that's where I get it confused, because there's like a thing where somebody will like, man, you can never say anything. And I'm like, yeah, okay. Yeah.
You can.
Sure. But the whole, if you say something that and it's not true, we're allowed to point out that's not true.
Yeah. But Tim and I were talking about this, back to your original question, like the Michael Strahan thing. It's like, I don't know why comics and podcasters, like they feel like they need validation from these major networks. Like they want
At this point,
they
well, I
want
know
what,
at one
they
point,
want what we have. And,
Yeah.
and we
and
want
you've
what
cut
they
the
have.
middleman out.
Yeah.
You guys have cut the middleman out.
Yes.
And the middleman in my career is the biggest scam of my whole career. Skateboarding and radio and all that stuff, where I've had managing agents. One guy did something that I knew I couldn't do. Everybody else is just like a guy that holds your hand because you like it sounds special. When I was a skateboarder, someone had an agent. I went, "You have an agent?" It's like, "Yeah, man, fucking."
That's the game, though, right? Like when you were coming to
You sound
skateboarding,
impressive.
Like Tony Hawk, I'm sure had an
Yep.
agent, or like guys who
Said to
look up
his sister.
Yeah, like,
That helped.
yeah, that helps. But it's like when you get to LA, it's like, oh, are you with CAA or with
Yeah,
WME?
yeah.
Who you with? And so it was like a big deal. And now
It's not the case, or is it?
no, not for me especially, because CAA books just my tour, just my stand up touring gigs. That's it. Everything else I don't bring to them. I don't ask them for advice. My whiskey, my CBD, my merchandise, they don't touch. I do all myself.
You got a whiskey?
It drops next month.
Oh, okay. That's why I didn't know
Yeah.
about it, because it's not out, right?
No.
Okay.
I think I saw that on your social media. You were putting that down and watching Love Island.
Oh yeah.
This is a thing of yours?
I love Love Island.
Why?
I don't know.
What's
I
Love
think life
Island?
is so intense, and Love Island, like, dude, one of my, if I watch, dramatic series or First 48 or fucking the news, it's so negative. Love Island, these kids don't know what the fuck's going on. They got the British accent. There's Australian Love
What is
Island.
it? A dating?
Yeah,
show?
so it's so I watch Love Island UK. It's their biggest series. They take, like, I don't know, 8 fucking singles. They put them on this island in a house, like this huge mansion.
Okay.
And then they bring in new hot people, and they get to choose who they end up with. There's drama, but you just watch it. You don't have to fucking think.
See, I get that. I watch Real Housewives sometimes. My wife hates it, and there's not every one of them, but there's a couple of whatever fucking city they're in where I watch it because it's like mindless violence.
Yeah, there you
it's
go.
like I'm like, look how unhappy this millionaire lady is at this restaurant with her Bentley. This is very amusing to me. And then the
Yeah.
other lady who has like a helicopter is like, I can't believe, you know what I mean? I'm like, these guys are in hell and their life is so fucking awesome. It just keeps entertaining me.
Love Island gets weird because my girl, she'll be like, I'll be like, oh, damn, because they call them bombshells. So they'll be in the house for like 4 weeks. Then they bring in new crop of girls, just like dime pieces. And I'm like, oh, damn, she's hot. My girl's like,
Are they
you think
drinking?
she's hot?
Oh, wow, you getting that
She's
shit?
like, you think she's hot? I'm like, I mean, she's attractive, not my style. It's like,
I'm not really into hot chicks.
yeah, I'm like, I don't like big titties and stuff.
I know.
I'll just ask her. I'm like, well, which one do you like? So, but we got over that now.
Yeah.
Is there a gimmick to Love Island? Like, do they have to go on this island and then fuck, and then like, all right, take one step to the right, now fuck that person?
A little bit. So it's like, they come out and just off looks, they call it coupling up. So that you get to decide who they couple up with. Then they share a bed and they're all in the same room.
Oh, I'm fucking everybody.
And then yes, that's what I would do,
Yeah.
but they don't. But then,
What?
yeah, they don't.
Oh, that's dorks.
And then they bring in new girls
They
or
need
new
to-
guys, and then they decide if they want to stay with that girl or go with them. So it's just bullshit drama. Just bullshit, mindless drama that I'm
I
into.
get that. I feel like this depends on what's going on in your life, is the things you want to watch. Like if I'm bored shitless and nothing's happened to me in a long time, sure, I'll watch some intense stuff. But so I feel like if I'm just intense all day, I don't want to watch the Willie make it 3 seconds. I'm like, just show me some farts or something, Like,
yeah, well, and I get into like I get super for whatever reason into like the Charles Manson stuff. I went to the Spawn Ranch. I
did.
I listened to all the podcasts, read all the books. Then from there I went to JFK and the conspiracy with that. So it's like it's so heavy, and I was like on that for months, and I was like, this shit is dark, man. So that's why I found Love Island. It's stupid. But then yesterday I went down a weird road because a friend of mine sent me a link to Spencer Fisher. I think it's the story on MMA Junkie or MMA Fighting. Have you seen the Spencer Fisher thing?
No.
It says the price of being the king.
What happened to
You
him?
remember Spencer Fisher,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, I do. They don't.
If you're a hardcore MMA fan, Spencer Fisher for a while was like a fan favorite. He'd kind of be like a Nick or Nate Diaz, just have like this cult following, but he was just this fighter's fighter. Everyone fucking loved him. And now, he has horrible issues.
Like what?
Oh, dude, brain issues, can't get out of bed,
What?
Yeah, and then he asked for the UFC to his wife's ask him to help him out, and they cut him off. They quit talking to him, and so I read
Is he
that
like on drugs and stuff?
he's trying to figure it out. He can't find anymore. He's like, it's such a fucking bummer. And you read that article and you're like, fuck. And then you think about all the guys that are like that we don't hear about, the ones that we grew up watching or some of your favorites, and you realize how dark that game is. And I'm like, fuck, man, I covered this stuff. And then I start thinking about, you go down a dark road. You go down a dark fucking road.
I mean, you are one. You've knocked out people and been knocked out by the hardest hitting people in the world.
Sure.
Are you worried about all of a sudden you wake up and you
No.
can't? Because there was a certain amount where you caught on and you separated from it, and some of these other people stayed way past their time, right?
Yeah.
And this is I'm fucking trashed and I need the money, so I go fight somebody who's better. I get knocked out, then I go back and I get knocked out, and that's just my job. Every couple, 6 months, 3 months, I get schooled by some new kid, whatever, it's paying the bills.
That's the nature
how this happens?
Yeah, and that's the nature of the game. But now I feel like if fighters look at me or some other, if you think of Gina Carano or some other guys and gals, it's like there's other shit you can do, man. Like there's more after this. But those veterans, those fucking guys that stay too long because they think that's all they have. Fuck
Right.
that, man.
Yeah, but look, you've got more assets from the start. You're a guy that already played football at the highest level, then you get into MMA and you're in the fucking UFC.
Yeah.
You do have a lot of talent, and it's already shown, you've been proven twice when you have two things that you've done pretty well at, you kind of know that if you dig deep, you'll get another one. Maybe these guys, a lot of fighters, because you're more like me as a fighter. You, not level-wise, just your brain, you're not a mean person. You're not like, well, I can't wait to fuck this dude
I
up.
don't live to fight.
Right. No. Me too. Like, cause I know Joe told Louis J. Gomez, who's the guy, Dave on the Legion of Skanks. I guess he was on Joe's show, and Joe was like, hey, man, tell Louis not to fucking fight Jason. Like, Jason's, D-list fucking MMA guy and loves hurting people. And I'm like, I know maybe Joe knows me from when I was training at Fortunes, but I don't want to hurt people. And I feel like even you and Joe were the first people like, Brain, and I'm like, man, you guys need to fucking calm down. Like, where I came from, sure, let me be dumb when I'm older. It's not that big of a deal. I can't believe I made it this far. That's my mentality. But now I'm like, yeah, man, an unnecessary sparring, people that are just mean in sparring sessions, and you're like, well, fuck, it's the camp. It's, everyone's here, and you just let some dude fucking rain down on your brain because you don't want to look like you don't want to be like, hey, man, fucking it's Thursday.
It's
like
an ego thing.
Yeah.
But now it's like there should be a more professional approach to fighting. Like
there is. You guys have
right.
broken it down. The gyms are, there's still, I'm not going to say names, but everyone knows that there's certain gyms where people still smash the fuck out of each other, and other gyms they don't, right?
Correct.
No? Okay. Good.
There is for sure, but it's that way of thinking. Like you're gonna get put out to pasture. Like that's not the way to train like a professional athlete.
But it's an angry, because I feel like there's a fighter that when you're angry and you're ready to fight at all times, and your whole life you've been fighting people and you're ready to fight anybody at all times. When the fight starts, you're like Platinum Mike Perry. He's like,
I know
we're gonna fight. I'm like, fuck, dude. This is. Be on your shit. I'm not thinking about the damage I'm gonna do to you.
Not at all.
I'm thinking about winning.
Me too.
If we could
100%.
if we could do this where you don't get hurt and I don't get hurt and I win, I'll fucking take
Me
it.
too.
Yeah.
Let me know, man.
Which is probably not the greatest mentality to be the champion of the world.
No,
but
that's why I was never a world champ.
Right, but I also think there's a certain amount of that where you're like, this guy's a professional athlete. It's like, yes, he is, but he's also a fucking madman, and madmen never, that's what a real madman is. He doesn't like grow up older and goes, wow, what was I thinking? They're like, fuck you, die until the end.
There's fuck you, die, but then there's also a business aspect to it now, because that fuck you, die gets you broke with brain damage. And I think a lot more guys now are thinking like, yeah, fuck you, die, but also fuck you, pay me. You know what I'm saying? Like there seems to be a little bit of transition. You look at a guy like Izzy Adesanya, who's very business-like, doesn't want to take hits, dishes out damage. He's not training crazy and sparring. Max Holloway went through an entire camp without sparring.
Because of his prior way of sparring where he missed a fight because that was not cutting weight. That was
I know. Yeah,
that's a fucking hit, dude.
Yeah.
I've been knocked out where I was in hospital and pissed my pants. But I didn't come, when they woke me up and I got home, I didn't go for fucking 2 days. I totally talked like me when I woke up.
Yep.
That's, for him to still be in the game after being that injured in the brain is fucking scary.
Yeah.
I don't know
how
how
this weekend.
Right.
Against Calvin Kattar.
It's right.
Tough fucking fight.
It is a tough fight, but I've been watching Kattar because I thought I was going to interview him last week. He's weirdly, fundamentally pretty basic. Like he doesn't have like, He's got he's got a lot of boxing. Yeah. But it seems like
that's that New England cartel. Like you look at Rob Font, you look at that camp, and his coach won coach of the year. They're meat and potatoes, but it fucking works, man. It fucking works.
It seems like
Calvin Kattar is the best 1-2 in the game.
Right, because that 1-2 seems like later on in rounds seems to sting more than like where at this first round, a lot of his fights, I'm like, this could go either way. And then third, I'm like, why is
He's a monster.
He's just really tough, right?
Monster.
Because it just seems like he gets better as it goes on.
Monster. Believes in himself. Like he's a tough fucking customer. Great dude.
What is the most fun thing that you do in your life now besides kids and family? That's cheating.
Yeah, thank you. Your life, life's fucking good, man. It really is. I don't know. I love stand up. I'm still doing stand up, even COVID. I'm still doing stand up.
Not as much.
Not as much. Maybe once a month now. But with stand up, it's weird. With COVID, it was like at first I was like, oh, we definitely can't do stand up. And then part of me went like, well, it's not up to fucking Governor Newsom, who's a prick. It's not up to Garcetti. It's not up to, even Trump or any of these guys. It's up to the public to decide if you can do stand up. If the public goes, yeah, we're willing to come out, they dictate if you can do stand up or not. Not these fucking haters online, not Newsom. And so I told my agent, I'm like, I'll book a show or we can line up some shows. But if they're not selling out, if people aren't coming, then that lets us know the public. They're good, man.
Yeah.
They're good, and then we're gonna shut this down.
Your shows,
but every show we've done, besides one show or two shows in Palm Beach, every single show we've done COVID has sold out weeks ahead.
Is it spaced out? Like, are you near people, or is it just
they're near people? Yeah.
So you
It's
are
stand up.
And you've already got it, and it seems like out of all people that I know that have got COVID, pissed COVID off, like it didn't do shit to you,
Nothing.
right? You were like 3 days.
3 days. My entire family got it. Both my kids, my wife,
And
my
they-
mother-in-law,
and they-
father-in-law.
They just plowed through it.
Plowed through. I mean, my girl was sick for like 6 days, but like, not like deathly, neither
No repercussions afterwards.
Nothing.
See, that's very lucky, because there are people out there that get a little. But I also feel like if you're very healthy and you take care of yourself, that does come into play a lot of it, I think. But there's still unlucky people there, and then there's this other strain. For a comedian, I get it, because you're new. To me, I would say you're new compared to all these other guys that you hang out with. You want to work on your craft so that you can catch up to them.
Correct.
And now it's a pandemic where you're doing one a month.
Yep.
Do you practice at home, or?
Yeah, practice at home. Record all my sets, go over them all the time.
You do any of the virtual ones?
I don't do virtual.
No, you're saying at home you will do a set on camera and then you watch it back.
Yep.
Fuck.
Yep.
That's fucking. I often wondered about that, because to me, even attempting it a year ago, I was like, oh God, you don't practice, you don't plan anything. You really should. And every time I think about it, I'm like, I get to the dime bar and I'm like, fuck, I'm just gonna say something. I'm not really gonna try anything. But there's no,
It's
that's
different when you're
commitment.
doing
Like
that.
going there in a room and doing it by yourself over and over again until you get your routine.
Fuck yeah.
That fucking for sure would work.
Professional. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, professional.
It's like boxing, like, you know what I mean? Like, I work on a fucking combo. If I don't go home and work on that combo after I'm with coach,
It's never gonna work.
it's not, it doesn't come like in a fight. It won't come, that's for sure.
But also, I would be fucked if these people paid tickets to a show and I came out there and just kind of winged it. It's like, what the fuck? Also,
you're in a
I'm not
different
talented
position.
enough where I can wing it. Like the guys I hang out with,
Neither am I.
the standard's so high, man. So it's you gotta be on your shit,
Right.
because people are waiting to shoot you down.
But that's a good thing for you. I mean, to
great
be
for
honest,
me.
it's like this show. I think this show is way better. I don't know about way better, but it's definitely better than it was 2 months ago. Because when we came into work, we were like, yeah, man, fucking, here we go again.
I'll tell you right now, it's already better from last time I did on Sirius. This show's better.
Really?
Your guys' vibes better. The conversation's better. Yeah.
We didn't have the Pope there.
Didn't have
Good
the Pope.
point.
You didn't have a Toe Jam and Earl shirt on.
No.
We're making moves.
Yeah, what the
Schaub.
fuck, Kevin? All of a sudden now you got toe jams on?
Now
I
you're
think he
balling?
actually did wear it before.
It's possible.
Fuck yeah.
This guy looks like he's had that shirt on his whole life.
It's been my favorite shirt since I was 13.
Told
Yeah.
ya.
It shows. Yeah.
Got him.
Got 'em.
We did do an interview with you at the Sirius XM studio where it was, this might have been a good idea, Michael, but when we interviewed Brendan Schaub, who once again was our first guest
Yeah.
for our podcast
Yeah.
that I started because Aubrey Marcus told me, dude, do a podcast. I'm like, I don't really know why I would do that. I have a Sirius XM, do a fucking podcast. All right, dude,
Smart
I'll do
guy.
it just for you.
Smart guy.
Right, very smart.
Smart guy.
But we did that.
Yeah.
We got him on,
Mhm.
and
I don't know if you remember. It got real.
you fucking cried. We made you cry. I didn't make you cry.
Over
You
what?
cried. Over football. Dude, we played some shit. I didn't obviously know anything about it. I knew you tried to play football. I don't know, like American guy, football, big guy. Makes sense. Didn't know you lived for it. Didn't know your dad
Yeah.
cared about it. Didn't know.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't know. We were just asking. And when you started talking about your friend that made it
Oh,
and you
God.
didn't,
And I was in the stands watching his game.
listen. I got audio right now.
All right, let's hear it.
When you signed a contract with Arena Football League,
Yeah.
if you can remember where you were in your mind at that point, what did you think your life plan was from that moment forward? Because nobody thinks, oh, I'm just going to ride Arena Football off into glory.
And it's always been a common theme with me. I've always, you are who you surround yourself with. My best friend, and still my best friend in Denver, Colorado, Joe Kloffenstein, was the first pick in the second round of the St. Louis Rams. We were training together.
He's already choking up.
Obviously, he made the team. I got cut from the Bills. The next thing you know, I'm signed with the Reno Football League. And I remember I was stressed because I was waiting to get the call. I just wanted to be like, God, just tell me I'm a professional football player, man. That's all I want in life is that I didn't waste my entire fucking childhood trying to get somewhere. And I was playing, I was hitting golf balls, and the assistant coach from Utah Blaze called me. It was like, you got it, man. You got into training camp. We'll send you the contract. And I remember hanging up and texting my brother, being like, your little brother's a professional. I'm getting fucking emotional. Your little brother's a professional football player. And I thought it was cool. Felt like a loser, though.
You felt like a loser because it was arena football?
Mm-hmm. Because think about it. My boy, my best friend, is first team All-American draft pick. And then I'm this fucking appetizer on the side. You know what I'm saying? We came up together. It's a tough pill to swallow.
That's why
man.
you never.
Next time I fucking interview on my radio show, I'll be sure to bring this up to see if I can get you crying on my fucking radio show.
There you go.
I'm gonna tweet that.
Only
Check
with
out
you
my
guys.
first podcast. I make Brendan Schaub cry. I'm the new Oprah.
Oh man.
Yeah, man.
Hearing that makes me realize, like, that's why you have what you have right now, because you had, before you were a football player in any level of success, you knew that this is what it's going to make. You are not here to do anything but do well.
Yep.
And I will not fucking exist
Yeah.
on a planet where I didn't do everything in my power to do well.
Correct.
And be well. That's just, and if it gets close to not doing well, it's fucking so much more heartbreaking to me. Like, 'cause I so relate where I could be like, I won't even admit it sometimes. I'll do it now because it's a show where people are like, Jason, love it when you're honest. But sometimes to me, it's embarrassing to admit how down I can get about something that isn't working out.
Big time.
Because I know that's it's the streets. Like, if you have that mentality, then you do usually become successful at it because it means so much more to you.
Correct.
I've done jiu-jitsu with somebody who was a brown belt. This is the biggest one for me. Didn't get my blue belt until the day after, because this guy brought this guy for me to roll with. I did not know that any of this was happening, but he was a brown belt at Gracie. And when we rolled, I could tell he knew more about jiu-jitsu than I did. But when we rolled, I'm rolling for my life.
Yep.
And this is, I don't know, Tuesday, 9 a.m. This dude's going, he's a doctor. And I'm fucking wrenching his shit off. And I submitted him over and over again. And I'm like, brown belt? He's like, well, yeah, I'm a brown belt with a gi. And I was like, is that an excuse? I thought it was weird. Did he just make a fucking excuse? I'm like, I knew what it was without being that great. I was like, you don't have like this killer instinct. Like when I'm holding, I'm like,
Yeah,
what's
it's
gonna
on.
happen next?
Yeah.
You got me here. And I'm like, no, you don't, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, I'll die. And it's
Well, I don't know what that means. What is brown belt with a gi? Is that like I'm brown belt, but I have a limp?
pajamas. You know when they wear the pajamas?
Yeah.
So if you're a jiu-jitsu guy, there's no gi jiu-jitsu and there's gi jiu-jitsu. So first jiu-jitsu ever was with pajamas on. Sorry, Brendan, I'm
No, go
explaining
ahead.
to a guy. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Go ahead.
But it's the pajama gi, and then they brought no gi jiu-jitsu, which is because of the MMA community, and they're like, man, if you wear pajamas, people can hold your pajamas and punch you in the face. So we
So
probably
it's two
want
different leagues of belts?
It can be if these days you do both, but some people will do only gi because there's a lot of gi chokes. I'm not familiar with them because I'm a no gi jiu-jitsu guy, but they do little, they choke you with shit, but also it's just, you can get out of things if you don't have a gi.
It's harder in a gi.
Yeah.
But also traditionally it's like meant to be in a gi. But also like the people with no gi, it's kind of like people get really good fast with no gi, but when you're in a gi, it teaches you better fundamentals. Like
So-
if you have a person that trained traditionally in a gi and they go out no gi to shit on this guy's weird flex on you, usually they should have their shit together more when they're
Yeah.
out of the gi.
Yeah,
Because they
that
have
was-
less things to worry about.
That's what I was going to ask you.
He
Like,
just seemed
does
like he
this-
didn't.
Yeah.
So that guy didn't have that wasn't a valid excuse. Like Jason just submits
No.
this guy over and over. He's like, oh, wow, I'm a fucking gi guy. Like,
Even I caught that was a bullshit excuse. Because
Horrible
I'm like, that was not even, I didn't even say, hey man, how come I beat you? Like, because it was,
Because what were you catching them in? Same stuff or just
I only have like 3 fucking things. So yeah, one of 3 things.
guillotine or something?
No, I'm more of
What'd you
I'm a
catch
Kimura guy because I get side control. That's my best
So he should
position.
not begin. If you're a brown belt gi guy, like the Kimura, like
I cut through his
half guard.
calf guard every time.
Yeah.
Every time.
And that's not a gi issue. That's just
He just didn't. It seemed like he didn't have. It reminds me of sometimes sparring at Fortunes, and I'd hit somebody. They go, "Hey man, I'm going to work today," and I'd be like, "We're sparring. I don't understand what you're here for."
yeah. I don't give a fuck what you got after this.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
but he seemed like a guy that, and I don't know for sure, but I feel like some Gracie guys, if you go and you do like 6 years and you go every day, they give you another belt.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay,
No,
there you
you're
go.
right. Yeah, you're right.
Because I believe you.
If they go through the system, they're gonna get their belts, but it's just different. You get a dog in there, a dog blue belt who's foaming at the mouth.
That's all it is.
They
There
might
it is.
fuck that guy up.
It's
man.
the dog. That's
Yeah.
all it is. It's the dog in the fight bullshit.
There-
'Cause I could,
there's also different, like, if you get a guy from a certain gym who's a blue belt from that gym, like say Henzo's, he's a no-gi or something like that, a blue belt, he can roll into a lot of other classes and fuck up their black belts.
yeah, because there's
It's
also
just different.
there's new guys that grab people's toes and ankles, and that's where I can tell that I've already come in late and not joined the new people because they sit on their butt a lot and start touching their fucking feet. It's a whole different technique.
Like they
Instead of-
tickle you?
Looks like it, but no. They fucking grab those toes and
They're-
ankles. It's all leg locks.
They're gonna break your ankle
Yeah.
or your knee.
Oh, Jesus
And to
Christ.
me, as a
The
skateboarder
Danaher
with all
guys.
those injuries, when those dudes start pulling toes, I'm like, dude, I don't even know which one you're going for, but
That's
I'm
not
not.
something
I'm,
you fuck with.
right,
Yeah.
because you're gonna.
Let's make sure Army Hammer never finds out about this.
Oh,
discipline.
no.
What the fuck?
You don't know about Army Hammer?
I do.
Fucking trying to eat women, dude.
I do.
Toes. He specializes in the toes.
And I have some friends
have
who
some
are
friends that eat
girls.
toes?
No, I have some friends who are girls like, that's hot. I never thought he was
What?
hot. I'm like,
Told you.
What?
Told you.
I'm like, you guys are out of your fucking mind.
He said that, and I was like, you're an idiot. You know a girl that was hot and said, wow, he's into toes. That's so hot.
Not even the toes, just he's into like blood and domination and cutting into pieces. Like it's strangely hot. I'm like, oh well, you have serious mental issues.
I do know hot girls that are into limbless men.
Oh, yeah. I've heard
Like
that's a thing.
one time I went to
like Lieutenant Dan.
Yeah.
That
One
guy
time
is
I went
crazy
to
laid. Yeah, dude.
Hey Katie, when we went to the
That guy
desert?
just plows at Bubba Gump.
Katie, when we went to the
Yeah, he's dog
Lieutenant Dan.
Katie, when we went to the desert, and you're a really hot friend when she met that moto dude that had one leg, and then she just went to his camp and fucked him for like 2 days, and I'm like,
Fantastic.
and he was really like a white trashy fucking like Joe Dirt guy with one leg, like
Well, she was-
and I was
she
like,
was digging
he
it.
is not attractive. I'm not shitting on a guy with
It's
who
just
has one
different.
leg,
It's different.
but the rest of him that wasn't chopped off was pretty shitty.
Yeah, it wasn't great. It's
And
the
she was like,
missing the
hell
leg.
yeah,
For
one
2 days,
leg.
she was
And I'm
getting
like,
fucked in circles.
That's how my dog's.
Well, there's that. I forget his name. God bless him. But he's like the main shark guy for when Discovery.
Yeah, he looks like people say he's my
Paul
the
Felder.
Gelder.
No,
Dick
Paul
Gelder,
Gelder.
yeah.
Gelder.
And he's been on my show a bunch of times, but dude, the DMs we get after he comes on,
Yeah.
girls are like, he's so fucking hot with that robotic arm and leg. I'm like, really?
Oh, yeah.
They're into it, man.
His robotic leg is pretty shitty, but his robot arm is badass.
Badass.
So he
If
that-
fucking
if
grabs and shakes and holds beer cans. I'm impressed.
Yeah,
by
he'll
that.
That hand
crush your
could tell
fucking
stories.
Yeah.
There's a name
The robot
for 'em.
finger banging.
Yeah.
It's gone on there.
They call them like it's like devotees or something like that. That's like the name I think for that community. If
That's
you're
like
into
the genre. If you're into,
I
would-
would people and stuff. Yeah.
I would do. I mean, I'm into weird people. So if you're weird, if you didn't have any limbs, I would be into it because you don't have any limbs. I'm not trying to be mean, but like, really little person. I'm like, whoa, you're so little. I don't want to sleep with you. A really gigantic lady. I'd be like, whoa, I want to sleep with.
different.
I just like really,
Something different.
really. I feel like sometimes I'll be like, man, that's so different. That's crazy. I want to try it. And then I'll be like, ooh, yeah, maybe that will be that one time, and that will
Check
be
the box
Yeah,
again.
but
What-
a lot of times I'll do that and be like, you guys can, because it's different when you're older, but when you're younger and you sleep with somebody who's over 300 pounds, people are like, really, dude? And I'm like, what? If I liked it and she liked it, how
Who
is
gives a
that
fuck?
bad? Like, I don't.
Yeah, I'm with that. Fucking fat girls is different. Army Hammer is that Army Hammy?
Fuck him. Fuck his name. Do not try to Do not
Sorry.
get it right. Just keep going.
Mr. Hammer is
Yeah.
into some
Yeah.
different shit though. He's like,
We're calling bullshit.
I'm gonna cut you into pieces.
Well, the question
Yeah.
is, does he really do that, or does he know that there's a certain kind of woman who responds to that kind of talk who doesn't actually want to lose a toe? The feedback that you're getting suggests that he just knows the kind of lady he likes it when he talks like that, but maybe his bark is worse than his bite. One would hope.
Katie, would you
I
give
think
me
it's
your
more
toe?
Nah.
What
Toe
about
cutter.
what about if we just met and I was like, cut your fucking toe off and I'm gonna spit in your butthole or something? Would that work?
It's kind of hot, but
Right,
if it
I knew
came
it.
down to it, like you're not chopping my limbs off.
But you don't really. I
It's
mean,
the
you're not a
idea of it,
skateboarder.
right?
Yeah.
It's the idea of it. But he's like into blood and shit. Aren't you into blood?
A little bit. I'm not really into. Man, that's a weird. I'm not really into blood. It was more Katie's thing when we first started dating, and she showed me. You know, okay, fuck it, we'll do it. I'm gonna try to make you cry. The least I can do is tell everybody what a fucked up tweaker I am.
Perfect.
So she got razor blades or little knives, and she would slash my arms, and it didn't hurt, like little cuts. And then she would suck on it, and then all the blood would come out, and then she's blowing me, and there's blood everywhere, and she's looking up all evil and shit, and I'm like, oh my god, I've never seen anything like this. So then it kind of, we played into it, and I was into it for a little while, where we would cut each other and. It's weird. It sounds like I'm into it, but I'm not. We've never done it. How long did that last? Like a
different.
year?
That was while we were courting.
Yeah, and then it kind of dropped off because I think at one point we were at a restaurant and we both had knife
I
necklaces.
remember you telling me this.
And she cut herself and poured the blood into the coffee, and it was way too deep. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, don't do that, all right? Like, I know we were being crazy because I think it's more like she's covered in tattoos, I'm covered in tattoos. Benji and Joel and fucking our tattooers, everyone's like, you guys got to get together. You two would be so I'm hearing all this shit about how we're going to be such a great fuck
Soulmates,
team together. Yeah, before we do it. So I think we were all kind of living up to each
Heightened.
other's hype or some
Yeah.
shit. I don't know, but I'm like, I've never even seen this shit before. So sure, fucking blood and sex sounds.
Army Hammer right now is taking notes. Like,
I don't think so. He sounded like he was eating people's scabs and shit. We never did that.
Oh, I want to
That's
glue
not
your
true.
pussy shut.
Wait, did you just say that's not true?
Yeah, remember when you had the scarification?
Yeah. That's different though. I got a scarification on my leg, and then the meat that was cut off, she ate it, some of it, but
Okay.
it's just I didn't go, ooh, how's that taste? I was like, oh my God, you're gonna eat it. I'm not, it's different, I think. It's
Yeah, it
more
wasn't like she cut like a fruit roll up off you, right?
it was a Red Dragon logo on my shin. Like there was some pieces.
And you cut it off?
Dude, I didn't even realize I was getting myself into this shit. But they're like, yeah, scarification. And right when it goes to start, I go, wait, no, you're not numbing me? He's like, no, you barely feel it. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. And then they just start cutting the logo. What is it?
I'm picturing like
That whole thing right there, the Red Dragon logo.
I'm picturing like a potato peeler.
It's a scalpel. He does a scalpel of the picture, and then
I'm not
and
into
then
that.
he peels it up.
You sure we could get the guy over here anytime?
He'll do your back.
I saw him cut a lady's vagina piece off.
Oh, that made my butthole.
Can we go back to talking about Army Hammer, please?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, he started
Are
it.
you and your wife into that stuff?
So big time. Yeah, exactly.
No, she's actually limbless from their relationship. She's actually ahead currently.
Army Hammer's DMs are so intense, though.
Well, the other thing is, I read on his Wikipedia. I'll assume that it's true that he was raised in limitless wealth. He's the heir to oil money, and his family grew up on the Cayman Islands.
Oh, wow.
And when you look at it that way, plus the DMs and just kind of the vibe I do have always gotten off that guy, you start to get like a Joffrey from Game of Thrones. Like maybe he has played the most dangerous game with a bow and arrow kind of thing.
Yeah.
I used to play that. in
Yeah, he's
Australia.
just trying to take it to the next level.
For real, I played that in Australia, and my dad found out and was like at the table and was like, "You guys are gonna kill yourselves."
Wait, you chased each
That's
other?
it,
You
that's
chased
it.
each other with bows and arrows?
No, we used to stand in the bushes, and one of us would shoot a bow and arrow up into the air, and the first person to move was a pussy.
Oh, wow, gotcha.
Wow. Wow.
I was like, what are the odds of that thing hitting you? You know?
That happens here in LA, right? Isn't there there's no celebration is too small to not call for shooting some guns directly into the air?
Yeah.
It happens.
No,
Yeah,
a
that's
friend of mine,
dangerous as
once
fuck.
again in Australia, from not Turkey, one of those countries. I forgot. Fuck.
Czechoslovakia.
Nah, because it's like an eagle logo for their
Dagestan?
flag.
Oh, that's so many of them.
I
They
know,
fucking love
sorry.
eagles, dude.
People love you.
Albanian. I think it's he's an Albanian guy. But I worked with him for like 10 years at my dad's computer store, Electronics. So that guy, when he got married, they got married in their backyard or wherever, the house, big fucking wedding, like 100, 150 people. And they're like, throw the the flower bouquet thing, and then all of a sudden, like 25 dudes, fucking pop, 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 and I'm like, this is fucking illegal to even have a firearm and a handgun in Australia. 25 dudes in this backyard have them, and they're shooting them like
They don't give a fuck.
not pop, 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 pop.
I thought for sure you were gonna say that when the bride threw the bouquet
Everybody
they all
ate her?
like no, like they like skeet.
Somebody shot the flowers into confetti.
Some wild boys, man.
That's how we did it. Hey,
Hey,
did
may
you
your first
answer
child-
me? What is your favorite thing to do? Did we get that?
No, what do you mean? Oh, I said stand up.
Okay. What is the thing that you hate to do in your day-to-day life the most?
There's nothing I really hate. There's nothing I really hate.
What is it?
Sometimes it's tough on like below the belt if there's like no big fights coming up, which thank God for the UFC because they're rolling out 40 fights. If there's like nothing going on, I'll come in or I'll be driving to the studio on Monday morning like, what the fuck am I going to talk about? What the fuck am I going to do? You know, sometimes that's frustrating, but other than
That's
that,
when you call me. I'll go over to Logan Paul's house.
yeah, there you go.
Give you something to talk
Yeah,
about.
there you go.
I see you hanging out with those guys. I see that Dylan, do you love
Dylan
him? And
Dennis.
that fucking Jake Paul does the drive-by. And I'm like, Schaub's friends with him and he's friends with Jake and they know where he is. This is all a big thing. They're all helping each other out
Yeah.
here. They're all
Yeah,
promoting
I'm
each
Vince
other.
McMahon.
And I'm starting to believe you a little bit more on the Dylan Dennis not being a complete psychopath and believing that he could beat all the people that he reels off on his list.
I haven't seen his list. I'm not on social media.
Brock Lesnar.
In a jiu-jitsu match?
No, he could beat
In
Brock
straight
Lesnar.
MMA?
Oh, no, well, I don't know what it was, but he could beat Brock Lesnar. He could beat John Jones.
And he called me out on the show. He's like, you really don't think in a jiu-jitsu match I could beat John? I'm like, dude, he's a big fucking dude. I've seen John. He submitted black belts, dude. Like, it'd be tough for you. Then we had the conversation on the show.
Okay.
But now as far as, dude, Dylan Dennis jiu-jitsu,
Yeah.
fucking monster. Monster. World champion.
Would he beat?
His brown belt, what he did in IBJJF, his brown belt like streak is like, I mean, ridiculous.
So then when he got to black belt, it wasn't a good streak?
It was still good. He beat some monsters at Absolute. You know, he's won Absolute. Yeah,
Okay.
as far as jiu-jitsu goes, like, you know, obviously he's doing all his antics, but when it comes down to the fundamentals of jiu-jitsu, he's a fucking monster. And people, they forget. You know, and I see a different side to him. All these guys, like Colby Covington, him, Logan Paul, Jake, you know, people see them on what they post on YouTube and their social media, stuff like that. You know, but these guys, especially the Paul brothers, you know, Logan, I know Logan Paul. I don't know Jake. Logan, as far as business and what he does, he's a fucking mastermind, man.
Right.
He's a beast.
Yeah.
Real savvy business.
Okay, so that's
And
easy
I
for you
appreciate
to
him for
respect
that.
it. Right. When
Yeah.
I can see how somebody who is, that's your game, it respects another guy for his level of.
I respect the hustle.
Right. But do you respect, I mean, I feel like you consider him a friend.
Yeah, for sure.
Because he seems like, I've never met Jake, but when I met Logan, you know, he came in spracking off at first, and then I was like, did not hear, and he was like, really? And not verbatim, but I could tell that he was like, oh, okay.
His demeanor's like, oh, that's not what I'm here for.
And he was like, okay. And then we had a fucking legitimate conversation
Normal dude.
where I felt like I liked him. Like, I feel like I was, especially on the Sirius XM show, I would get shit for bringing him up.
Oh, really?
Because it's more, Sirius XM's more of an older crowd, and it's like, fucking YouTuber. Why are you even going to bring up a fucking YouTuber? He doesn't deserve it. I'm like,
Sure.
You're talking about a guy that tried to fight every guy in the UFC and didn't deserve it.
Yep.
If anyone should be a fan of these two jokers, it should be me. I'm fucking Paul Light. Like, I just,
Yeah, me too. But I respect, you know, Jake and Logan, especially Logan. He could do anything. He could play checkers against another fucking YouTuber, and people are going to tune in and make millions of dollars.
really?
But he decides to do fucking boxing.
But he's a dangerous man who has issues because, as you know, as somebody who
Logan or
is
Jake?
both of them, you're comfortable and you've decided to take on fighting. And I can tell from their videos, they're in that same period where I was at Fortunes, where I was looking to knock out people or get knocked out in sparring, 2 to 3 days a week.
Yeah.
And we were mean. We were mean, but everybody agreed to be mean, so it wasn't.
Yeah.
But when I see video of him sparring, and when somebody's rocked and you just fucking smack him like 6 more times, you're a fucking asshole.
Logan did that?
Jake.
Jake's a different animal. I think Jake's young. He's trying to figure out what he's going to do.
Yeah, I feel like he's young. He doesn't know yet.
He doesn't know.
Yeah, he doesn't know what he's doing.
I don't know. I know Jake a little bit, but I don't know him like Logan. Logan's a little more mature, a little more calculated. Had some real issues.
I think losing and then having everybody freak out about the Japan shit.
Correct.
Where
He's
he had to
learned from his
fucking
mistakes.
right.
Yeah.
Well, that makes a man. That's why I brought up like, is there anything that you hate doing in your day? Because you've gone through a lot of this shit, and I didn't even really realize you've recently gone through a giant one. But to me, from this big hit, it makes you better.
It makes you better. But when you ask me, is there anything you don't like to do? I'm in a position, thank fucking God, where I don't have to do anything I don't want to do. Right. So, for example, if we rebranded Fighter and the Kid to Fighter and the Kids, and I brought these other two guys on who come on the road with me. If that wasn't going well, I would shut it down.
They're your stand-up team. Yeah. So when you go on the road there, they come on before you.
One's my MC, one's my feature.
Oh, fuck yeah. And you just figured that all out before Fighter and the Kids started?
Oh, yeah. Well, I was trying to figure out.
You were already on the road with those two, and you were like, wait, you know what?
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I had Kath Wood come on, who we fucking love. Yeah. I had Josh Wolf come on, thank God. I reached out to so many guys, and nobody wanted to touch it.
You changed the time slot just so I could get in there one time.
Yep. So no one wanted to touch it. Everyone's like, it's too hot right now. We don't want to be in that seat.
Yeah, I sensed that from some people, but.
Yeah, a ton of people. So then.
You guys are weird loyal and confusingly loyal. It reminds me of skateboarding. Skateboarding's the same. You get your little packs.
You get your packs, but you learn out that you learn when shit hits the fan, like COVID hit and everyone's just fucking disperses to Texas and Nashville and Florida and New Jersey, and
must be nice.
Our whole team fucking bounced.
Yeah. And
you're like, oh shit, I'm on my own, man. I got to figure this shit out on my own. It's heartbreaking, but it's also, that's the way the world works.
Yeah, but on your own and being successful, like you said with the serious thing, I'm not trying to say fuck you, but if it does work out, it's a pretty it's a little satisfying fuck you.
Keep that chip. Because I had that chip fucking huge towards Fox and Dana White, and that fuel, granted, I wish I didn't say some things I said.
That's the only difference because you have more control over your mouth when you have this chip. That's why I try to not have too much of a chip, because I'm very
keep that chip
quick to go, here's another thing. And I'm like, don't do this. Be good on this one, Jason. Like,
be good, but also be like, fuck you a little bit. Because that's how I was with Fox and Dana. And that chip, dude, I got a fucking stack of Pringles here, dude. When I first came off, I had a fucking stack of Pringle chips here, man. And it's what drove the success and drove the show. Yeah. And then I was in an airport, and the guy who fired me from Fox was at the airport, and he got fired for sexual misconduct. I see him at the airport years later, man, like 5 years later. And we're both waiting to get on the plane. He's with his family. I'm like, fuck. Hopefully he doesn't come over and say something. And he comes over and goes, dude, you're fucking killing it. I was like, thanks, man. He's like, hopefully there's no issues between us. I'm like, not at all, man. I wish you, much success. He's like the head of DAZN now, which is fucking tanky.
It's the best way to be. Go ahead, Michael.
Can I ask you about some of the stuff that you said about Dana over the years? I'm just curious, get into it to whatever extent you want to. How much of that was you not being able to bite your tongue, and how much of that was, I assumed at the time that it was strategically, you go, well, I'm financially divorced enough that I can afford to take shots at him in a way that most people in the MMA game cannot.
Wasn't, though.
Okay.
I wasn't. I wasn't. I was just trying to figure it out. I wasn't making great money, but it's kind of like, fuck this, man.
Yeah.
Like when they signed the Reebok deal, again, at the time, immature, I said a lot of stuff. And it's not like Dana.
He didn't seem like he was a big fan of you at the time either, though. I don't know who started it, but I could definitely tell that there was some.
He's the one now why we don't have relationships. It's not because of me. I'm good. He has $400 million in the bank. How the fuck are you still upset?
Wait, he's upset at you
still?
But you're an MMA analyst who gives people the fucking real scoop on what's happening in your opinions. And maybe you disagree with him sometimes. Out of anybody on the planet, when that dude disagrees with people, you fucking know it. He will tell everybody to go fuck themselves and then be like, yeah, we figured it out a year later. But at one point, you verbally told everybody, fuck that guy. I told him to go fuck himself.
Yep.
So why can't he let it go? It's weird.
Because he can't control what I do.
So much for the UFC.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
I mean, every show is like, hey, it's Brendan Schaub, who was a UFC fighter, and he's talking about all the
sound bites on pay-per-views, and I, obviously I could claim, you'd be like, what are you doing?
Wow.
I don't say shit.
Oh, wow.
I have zero animosity. If he called me right now, I was like, hey, dude, can you cover this for us? Can you do this? Or, hey, I'm dead broke. Can you do it? Yeah, whatever.
Have you thought about reaching out?
I know Rogan's reached out to him before for me, and he's like, no.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, all right, cool, man.
That's like, remember when I asked you to reach out to Rogan for me? And
Yeah.
he was like, yeah, no.
Rogan wasn't like, no. He was just like, I don't know that guy, and we're booked. I'm like, all right, cool.
Oh.
But Rogan and Dana are best friends. You know, they're close. Yeah.
Yeah, I was talking to Dana for a little bit there, but then I'm like, all you ever do is ask him for tickets. And I just it builds up with me. There was a thing where Dax Shepard and I were buddying up, and I was trying to be sober, and
I
he
love
was really
Dax.
helping me. I love Dax too. But when I decided to start smoking weed again, and then I started drinking, he was really let down.
But also,
right,
that's not a time to shit on a guy. You know what I'm saying?
He was trying to explain his disappointment, and I was trying to explain my disappointment
Position.
in myself for
Yeah.
letting him down. I know me, and I did like a year and 3 months of being sober, and I was like, you should just smoke a little bit of weed, dude. It's not fair to the rest of the world. You're not happy. You can't be happy. Like
you gotta do what's best for you. But also, Dax has had relapse. Like, he just had a relapse, and
we've reached out.
publicly.
He had a relapse. I reached out. He said thank you. Then I get dropped from Sirius. He reaches out. I say thank you, and I'm like, wait. So we only reach out when it's like one of us is gonna
Oh,
die.
shit. Yeah.
I'm like, this ain't cool. And then, it's just like the Dana White thing. Even with you, I feel like I'm. You guys are busy doing your shit, and I'm a grown ass man. Don't be fucking reaching out for anybody to like give help. They're busy.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna ask Dana for tickets. I'm not gonna ask Brendan Schaub for fucking advice, and I'm not gonna ask I'm not gonna ask Dax Shepard to be on the show. But I did, but I wouldn't have. But because of Sirius XM, I was like, what's he gonna say? No, great.
And what
But what if he said yes?
He's coming on this show?
No, he's gonna have me on his show, which is fucking
His show's huge.
gigantic.
Armchair Expert's huge.
He's like top 5 every month, every week.
He's a monster. I'm a huge fan of this show.
Yeah, I've listened because I listen to everybody's shows now in podcasting. He is it's insulting, but he is by far I'm the most impressed by him out of everybody. Because I knew him and we've had hundreds of conversations, and I was like, yeah, he's pretty funny. Not as funny as me, but he's an amusing guy.
Talented guy.
We used to have arguments about who would be the alpha male because I guess he went to Africa and you meet the gorillas or whatever, and the gorilla knows who the alpha is in the group and goes over to him. And I guess Dax and some other guy were just arguing for hours on the way there that it's definitely going to be him. So I would always argue to him. I'm like, dude, if we were there, the fucking gorilla's coming up to me. That's just the way it's going to be. So we would always argue. But hearing his show, I'm like, man, really talented.
Smart guy.
Fucking smart and just like charismatic. I want to keep listening to him even when he's not talking about anything. I'm like,
he's fantastic.
Yeah.
And his co-host, what's her name? The young lady.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know her name.
She's great too. Yeah, he kills it.
Up
Man.
Dax's ass all day.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I thought it was
I'm a
very
fan.
impressive. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what about training
Monica
jiu-jitsu?
Patman.
You don't do jiu-jitsu. Okay, Monica Patman.
Yep.
You don't do jiu-jitsu anymore, correct?
No.
Because I remember you were always filming the boxing. Is this the pandemic cutoff, or will you be back, or are you done with
It's just
MMA training? You seem to pedal a lot.
yeah, I just ride my bike.
Is that the transition? You have left
I mean,
combat?
I hit mitts yesterday.
Oh, okay.
I'll do it like once a week maybe, but usually I'm just on my bike.
And
I did it for so long, man. And then also like jiu-jitsu, I train with Henry Gracie. So to drive down to Torrance, then drive back, I got kids, man. So
Yeah.
I'm picking my son up from school. Like my jiu-jitsu path isn't important anymore. Like I'm
Yeah.
not going to take hours away from my kids and my family to go fucking get better at jiu-jitsu.
Right, but it's like, which one do you enjoy? Because to me,
Jiu-jitsu is my favorite.
I hit pads because I don't have a fight. Nobody cares. I really enjoy hitting pads. Like jiu-jitsu, I used to go to jiu-jitsu 4 days a week because I had a fight coming up. I don't really like jiu-jitsu.
Oh, you don't like it?
I'm not. It's the least natural to me.
Sure.
My legs are stocky. There's no You're not getting in a fucking triangle. I mean, if you get
Yeah.
caught in my triangle, you've
You
never
suck.
rolled in your
Yeah.
life. So it's a little disheartening every time I roll. When I
Yeah.
box, people are like, "Hey man, you're not so bad for a fucking retard." I'm like,
Yeah. That's what you gravitate towards.
yeah, and it seems more. My body understands it better. I can tell it just sort of has more of a liking to it than the jiu-jitsu. But I do still want to do all that because I know there's amusement and it keeps my brain active. Like, oh, new jiu-jitsu.
I think once my son gets at 7, I'll have him in jiu-jitsu and I'll probably take him down to Gracie.
Okay.
Torrance. And once he's there, and then we're there at the same time, I'll start doing it more.
Would you fight ever again?
Never.
Not even for like career and a big check.
I don't think so.
You really kind of didn't like fighting,
No,
or am I wrong?
no, you're right. Yeah, it was.
You just had
it's
the
stressful.
but you had the attributes to be
I was
a
athletic.
fighter, and you were
Yeah.
like, so from the start, you're like, man, fucking getting punched in the face is not the coolest thing I've ever been involved in, but I'm naturally good. Like from the start, you were
From
like,
the very start. Yeah, I just
people were like, whoa, dude, you should fucking seriously take this on.
yeah, and then and I didn't have other options in Denver, so I was like, all right, I guess I'm doing this. And then I was training for a little bit, and then just the Ultimate Fighter called. And it's like, all right, and the next thing I know, do Ultimate Fighter, and I'm fighting fucking Gabriel Gonzaga a year later. So I'm like, all right, and then I beat Gabriel. Then they give me Mirko Cro Cop, and I'm ranked in the top 10 on Sheerdog. So it's like, I guess it's what I do, but I fucking hated it.
This is very similar to.
I like the training. I like being around the guys and getting better and training. I like that aspect of it.
Yeah.
But as far as the UFC and the dark side, and like I was like, oh man, this is fucking terrible.
I mean, you're in. I don't try to shit on any other weight class, but being a heavyweight, it seems like I knew from boxers. I used to hear this in boxing. If you're a really big athletical guy,
Yes.
you could potentially be a heavyweight champion of the world, even if you started boxing in your fucking 30s. Like
Right.
people are just like,
Heavyweight's the only division you could do that in.
right. That's and no one else, no other weight division you can do that. Which
Not a
means
chance.
I did not know that he was like you trained for a little bit. People, man, you're fucking good. You should train, and then you're qualifying for the Ultimate Fighter with a year.
Yeah, a year. Year
A
into it.
year of MMA under your belt,
Yep. I had 2 fights going to that house.
which is
Like 2
so
schmucks.
much crazier when you're a heavyweight.
And
You
I fought,
don't
then I
have
fought-
to
then
be.
I fought Roy Nelson in the finale.
Oh yeah,
and Rogan was saying as I'm walking out, we weren't that
and you have
close.
a year of wrestling
Rogan
and
was like-
jiu-jitsu.
Rogan was like, man, this Roy Nelson, a former world champion, had 30
Yeah.
fights under his belt.
Yeah.
Like, this is a tough task for Brendan Schaub. Like, I don't know if this gets commissioned in any other situation.
Wait, is this before you and Joe were friends?
Yeah.
So you just heard this audio of Joe going, man, this is probably an illegal sanctioned
I heard it
fight.
weeks later. I watched it. I'm like, yeah, he's right.
That is so much.
Yeah.
It's just so dangerous. It's so much more. It's so weird. Like all the other, I'm not trying to shit on everybody else's weight class, but for you to be 1 year and then Gonzaga is like getting his hands on you.
And I beat him.
I know, but
In a
it's
decision.
But he could have fucking
Right.
switched your ass off, and you'd be like, "Oh fuck, thanks for being here."
But it caught up to me because you have that cheat code where you're super athletic, and I was able to beat Mirko Cro Cop, I was able to beat Gabriel Gonzaga. But then you go down and you're facing some real vets like Ben Rothwell, who has 60 fucking thousand.
You
fights.
you fucked up. You got cocky on that fight.
Yeah.
You were winning.
That's experience,
and you were
though.
taking him down, and then you were like, "Oh, I've got him rocked."
I threw a
and you
spinning back
charged.
elbow.
You charged a fucking wall. That
Yep.
dude is the biggest oaf
He's
in
so
MMA. There's nobody with. I don't want to shit on him, but he is very not. He's not that talented. He's very stiff,
Tough,
but he's
sturdy.
just so big and long and tough.
He's like Roy Nelson if you stretched him out. He's just tough as fuck.
and you.
But there's
you
that
charged
cheat, there's
him.
that cheat code where it catches up to you, where these vets go, big athletic guy, we've seen this before. So you're gonna, and I say this for all these young fighters, like for Greg Hardy, people are like, oh, you're hating him. I'm not hating on him. I'm talking from experience. His athleticism can get him this far, and then you're gonna reach the vets. We're like, we've seen big, strong, athletic
Right.
guys. We know what to do with this guy.
They take shots. The guy that beat him last time took his
Tybura?
best shit
Yeah.
and was like, dude,
Those
this-
vets, you can only go so far where experience comes in.
And at that point, your athleticism almost becomes a detriment because everybody else has had to overcome this obstacle, solve this puzzle to get up the chain.
And you don't have the
didn't,
time.
And you never
Yeah,
got those chops.
You don't have the time to make up to learn the fundamentals, and the only way to do it is doing it, and you need years.
Yeah.
But you're in the UFC.
No, I know. That's the big guy thing. We talked about this before. I think like 20% of all 7-footers in America are playing in the NBA or have
yeah.
played in the
That
NBA.
makes sense.
Like, Taco Fall, he's like 7'7"
love
on the Celtics.
Yeah.
You think he gives a fuck if they lose?
Oh, I know.
Taco's like, what? I get paid every 2 weeks?
Yeah, he's like,
give me
"I'm
the
in."
shirt.
Yeah,
Oh,
give
fuck,
me the
there's
shirt.
like a Taco Bell?
Give me the shirt. Yeah.
Taco Fall.
As a guy that was super untalented and loves skateboarding so much, people like you piss me off. You know,
Why?
because in a year you would just start hitting pads and it was like, man, you should fucking do this. And now you're in the UFC knocking Cro Cop out.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the first year I was boxing, nobody was like, you should not, do anything. And I came from somewhere where I was top 3 in the world, but I also remember everybody on the way, the Danny Ways of the world, where you meet someone where you go, wow. And I had my experience. I wasn't a flash in the pan. I'd put in my rent, and then I flew to America because I beat everybody in Australia 1,000 times over. And then I see these dudes, and I'm like, I could live here. I could live on this ramp and skate every day, 24 hours a day. I will never have whatever he has.
Yep.
Mine
was a little different because I was training with like the Shane Carwins and the GSPs and the Rashad Evans.
How were you doing against Shane?
I mean, good. Okay. So that's when I was like, oh, I could be champ. I don't like doing this, but I have the skills where I can make a lot of money and do this.
God, I don't like doing this.
Yeah. So it was
It's the most insane thing to say in the heavyweight division of the UFC.
Nuts.
Now it makes
There's
way
no
more
way
sense.
you're the only one.
I don't.
He might be up there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Really?
He's
I don't know.
because think about all the other guys.
Mhm.
They're fucking 15 years deep, dude.
Do you think we know for a fact that Greg Hardy loves it, or is this just what he can do?
Right, that might be
That's a good
something.
point.
I think Greg Hardy is one of those people that we were discussing earlier that really likes hurting people.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but that's how I feel about him. So when he's about to fight, he's home. So that's going to help him, but it's only going to go as far as
Well, you
his
see it
experience.
when he fights these vets, they take away his big right hand, like, oh, you have no cardio or grappling? Cool, man.
Yeah.
And they fuck him up. That's what
And it's a
happens.
bad fuck up because now you're tied and this other guy's as big as you, and it's real damage, man.
He has skills.
Yeah.
And he's been there before 50 times where he's been hit, he's been rocked, he's been down before, and he comes back and wins.
Yeah,
It's fascinating.
Yeah, it is. But it's bigger people. It's just a different game. I've fought bigger people and you get tired quicker because you can't stay as relaxed because it's a bigger fucking hit that's coming.
Yeah, every
You
shot
just-
counts.
Yeah, you're like, instead of,
Yep.
like every time I see a big right hand, like
But
Carl
if-
Kingsbury, I'm like, I can't help not fucking hold my breath for a second. I'm like, shit.
But if I'm a lighter weight and I'm like, oh, I zig when I should have zagged, I get hit, the fight's not over. In heavyweight
Yeah.
division,
Yeah.
if I zig when I should have zagged, it's over.
Which is only a matter of time.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's no way you do a whole career where somebody didn't zig and you zagged.
I love when they just have like the two New Zealand or Australian guys fight, and it's just like it's basically a bullfight.
Yes.
It's going to be
Oh.
20 seconds, and it's going to be
Tied to
a matter of split
Yes.
seconds of one guy swings and the other guy starts just a millisecond sooner.
I know. I think Mark Hunt bred a couple of
Yeah.
Samoan guys, some New Zealand guys that have fast, really like
Mhm.
quick hands and feet, and just a most offensive stomach ever. I'm like, have
Yeah.
you ever done anything towards fitness?
And I
in
can't
your life?
and I can't
How can
understand
you
the
have
fight until I see the replay.
Yeah.
How can you do 15 minutes and just have this thing that goes over your dick? Like, how did?
But they have the cool tats, so we let it roll. They have like the tats on their stomach.
It's almost
so I'm
like
they look
ads.
sick.
I know,
Yeah.
right? I've always wanted those because my mum's a New Zealander. I want.
Oh, that'd be dope.
She told me at one that you are part Mary because she's adopted and they had like a reunion and her mum's like was a crazy alcoholic whore and had like 25 kids.
Hell yeah.
And when my mum was at the reunion, all the kids were all Marys. So when I went there, they're like, "Oh, I'm Jason. How are you?" And I'm like, "Am I married?" Yeah, you got a little bit of Mary in
So
you.
you
Like,
could get
fuck.
the tats.
Yeah, get this guy a shoe.
Yeah, it doesn't. I think I
Yeah,
think
shoey.
Yeah.
I'm okay. I really am okay. That was a time, and now there is not. I don't want to drink beer, and I don't want to drink anything out of anybody's shoe. I don't even want to do the Fat Joe where you lick the bottom of a brand new shoe.
I don't mind that. I did a shoey with Taya Tuivasa.
Well, that's what you do. It
and
with.
they go.
No.
I mean, I didn't realize they spit loogies into it.
No, wait, no, they
what the
don't, dude.
fuck?
No, they don't. They spit loogies in your one.
Really?
Dude.
Well, maybe not loogie. He didn't. Well,
What do you
there
mean?
was some phlegm in there.
Wait, did he spit in it?
We all spit in it.
And then you
I
drank it?
spit in his. He drank it. He spit in mine, and I drank it.
Oh wow.
And I almost threw up.
Yes. No,
Pretty
that's
gross.
I'm a shoey.
Yeah. You guys are New Zealand related now.
It's like if Be Real says, "Hey man, you want to smoke some of this weed?"
right.
Like when Andrew didn't, I was like, dude.
Yeah, but if Be Real blows a snot rocket on the joint, I might be like, this is a cool opportunity, but
Yeah, but you're talking
I'm gonna
about two of us, and this guy's if
That's
he's-
his thing.
I didn't know this bit about the spitting in the beer, but I'm not gonna deny it. If I was like, "Oh yeah, we're doing a shoe," and he went, I'd be like, Oh, cool. Two of us. We're
That's exactly what happened to me. The cameras were on. He's like, I'm like,
Oh,
dude.
gives you an oyster.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck are we doing?
So bummed out by this. This ruins the shoey so much.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it was your fucking socks and now it's your spit and your socks. Come on, man.
Yeah, definitely not doing a German shoey.
Has that got poo in it?
Just drop a log.
A pooey. Yeah. Choking on a log.
I got to roll, guys.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Oh shit, Schaub, it's been great to have you, but now you have to disappear. Hey, man, we're back. That was great.
Wow. Back for the third time.
Technical difficulties sometimes.
Look, my laptop.
Oh, wow.
That's really exciting.
You've
First,
done a lot of shit today, dude.
first Brendan Schaub, then your laptop.
And the Pope.
It's exciting.
Mm.
Are we ready? Are you ready?
I believe somebody's ready.
All right, here we go.
Are you having a good day? Well, I'm about to ruin it. This is Droopy's bad news. Hello, gentlemen.
Hello, Droopy. How come you're one-handed, Droopy?
Well, it's a little bit of a different setup these days. Oh, hold on, let me try.
I think you might have been good the way you were.
My bad, dude. My bad.
This-
Sorry for bringing that up. It's weird. We've never done Droopy on a visual.
No, I think we've done some remote shows, but not on YouTube. That's for
Yes.
sure. I feel like, and I never noticed this before, Droopy Dog talks a tiny little bit like the Pope.
No, he doesn't. How dare you?
Nobody ever says that.
Anyway, Droopy, what's in the news?
Well, you know what?
What?
Unfortunately, I've got some bad news to deliver you folks.
Oh, no, Droopy.
I know. Do you know who Screech is?
Yeah, he's the guy that put poo on a lady's mustache.
That's right. Some people know him as Screech,
Not us.
and some people know him as a dirty Sanchez bandit.
That was pretty bad. That to me, because I never grew up watching the Bell movie, but fuck that guy for putting poo on a lady's face. That is,
That's not nice.
I'm against it.
Yeah, I'm not very pro dirty Sanchez either.
Yeah.
But
Even
there's-
for a guy who smells shit recreationally.
PSA right here. I'm against poo mustaches.
Yes.
Even when asked.
taking
No,
a
I will not
stance.
give you a poo mustache. Anyone?
Well, Screech has been hospitalized in Florida after feeling pain all over his entire body and a general sense of unease.
Uh-oh.
Yes. As of today, which is January 13th, they don't know the prognosis, but the doctors are pretty sure they know that it's cancer.
Oh. Are you serious?
I don't know how they know that, but I guess if you're Screech and you go into the hospital and head to toe pain, they just say, yeah, that's cancer.
This is the worst case of general unease I've ever seen.
Yes.
Wait. Wait.
The fuck is that?
Yeah, this is like I was making fun of the guy,
Yeah.
and now you're saying he's really dying of cancer?
Well, there might be some updates before people hear these words, but as of this moment, they just think it's cancer. But
Oh, man.
overall, that's pretty bad news.
Yeah.
And he wasn't in the reboot, if I'm not mistaken, of Saved by the Bell. I haven't watched it personally.
No, you know, they didn't invite him back.
I loved when they had, I think there was like Saved by the Bell, The Next Generation, or maybe that was Star Trek. Anyway, he was the only cast member that hung around, but his voice had changed. And when he was a kid, he used to do the squeaky voice
Yeah.
thing. And it was really hard for him to force it as an adult man.
Oh, yeah.
And I was really looking forward to a third iteration of it now.
I'd rather see him in Star Trek, honestly.
Now Salt and Pepper bearded Screech having to talk like that. But yeah, if he just could be Data instead.
I'd be really pumped on that. Like maybe every now and then he gets beamed up incorrectly and shit.
Captain, I'm giving her all she's got.
He's got his face on his ass. Payback.
Well, in other news,
Man, I can't believe I had the wham, wham, wham button ready for a dude has cancer.
well, that's the appropriate button. It is pretty sad.
All right.
That's a sad noise.
Just thought it was going to be a little bit funnier, but
Yeah.
Fair enough,
That news was
Droopy.
not particularly zany.
Yeah, there was no. Thank you, Michael. There was no Zane in it.
I was sitting here ready with the bell.
I did tell you this was some pretty bad news.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
that is
good
kind of
point.
your thing. Yeah.
In other news, a patient at an LA hospital was waiting for a heart transplant that was arriving by helicopter,
Mhm.
but things hit a snag when the helicopter lost control while landing and crashed into the hospital's helipad.
But then everything turned out
They
fine.
got the heart to the
Well-
guy, or
The firefighters did rush to the scene and miraculously were able to retrieve the heart from the wreckage
Oh, thank goodness.
and hand it over to the hospital staffers.
did everybody?
Oh yeah.
What about the people that were driving flying the helicopter? How are they?
I think they're good.
Wait, really?
Well, they didn't focus too
Three of them
much-
got stabbed directly in the heart, ironically enough. This was
A hot shish kebab.
a net -2 heart helicopter plane.
They didn't get too much into that. They were focused on other things.
Yeah.
So after they handed the heart off, the staffer carrying the heart tripped and dropped it.
Don't tell me the heart didn't survive that.
Well, after that, after a crash and a clumsy hospital staffer, turns out the heart itself was fine.
3-second rule.
Yep.
And the guy, they put it in the guy's chest, and now he's alive.
The transplant was a success.
All right, we did it.
Yes.
He made it.
Every now and then, I'll let you guys be happy.
I'm happy about that. That was weird. I don't know I would ever be sad about Screech's demise, but it did bum me out a little bit. And yeah, it's good to know that helicopter crash into a hospital. Nobody died in the hospital that the helicopter crashed in, and nobody in the helicopter died from the helicopter crashing, and the heart survived and got dropped on the floor into the guy's chest, and the guy lives. Showing you, proving you
Yeah.
that miracles are real.
But guy's a total prick.
Oh, from now on, he's a total dick.
No, he-
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's got a beat up heart.
they saved a very bad man.
Mm.
In other news,
And with that, Roger Stone lives on.
Zimbabwe.
Love that place.
It always seems like a nice place to visit.
Yeah.
But after this next story, you might want to reconsider your next vacation, Jason.
No way, I
Okay.
got the bobs. I'm going.
Okay.
Yeah. Judging from the downloads we're having right now, I'm not looking to go anywhere. Maybe next year.
I might go to Little Zimbabwe.
Is that like your
A
backyard?
neighborhood in Los Angeles.
I know. I might go to Chinatown
It's
for
on,
New Year's.
it's on Fairfax by Little Ethiopia.
yeah.
I'm touring Africa on
Ooh,
Fairfax.
yes. Let's just take extravagant photos on Little Ethiopia Street and just be like, here I am again.
Ball in.
Yeah.
Hashtag influencer.
Holla, look at this different colored splooge plate. That's my meal.
I'm learning so much from the locals on Fairfax.
Fairfax, there's a bunch of black dudes just looking at you with disgust. Anyway, sorry, Droopy.
So, an elderly man
Yes,
In
worst man to be.
in the region of Chirimanzu
Yes.
Yeah.
was asleep in his hut when a pack of hyenas barged in,
Man.
dragged him out of his hut, and mauled him to death.
Well, you were in a hut, you know, and if you know that hyenas do exist in your neighborhood and you decided to take a nap in a hut where I assume the door's open,
Yeah, they somehow got by his Ring camera.
just sounds like you invited them in. Seems like there could have been a couple of things. You could have shut the door. I mean, last time I checked, dogs don't have hands.
Well, by the time the other villagers found him,
Yeah.
the hyenas had eaten the lower half of his body.
Oh.
Was the other part, the upper part, still alive?
No, he was a dead man.
Right. Because I've always thought nothing worse than being eaten alive and you're alive like a long time.
While they chew your dick off.
Yeah. Like I
That's
always
bad.
felt like it was harsh for zebras to be eaten by lions because a lot of
yeah.
lions always eat the anus first. And I'm like, man, you're probably going to live for like 40 minutes. You're going to see this dude have lunch.
Yeah.
Not cool. I'd rather just, you know what I mean? If it's over, it's over. If I was a
Yeah.
zebra and I was going to get eaten by lions, I would offer the jugular.
Yeah, it really is all fun and games for giraffes until that last 45 minutes or so.
Dude, wow, that's the world. I saw a video the other day of a lion on the back of a giraffe, and then another lion jumped on there, all had stacks on. I'm like, come on, giraffe, fucking move, man. Don't give up.
Maybe this guy wasn't very mobile or something. My son did a report on hyenas like a month ago, so I know more about hyenas than I ever cared to know. That laughing thing that they do, one of them finds food, and that's the call to the others, look, we found something to eat. So they're not the stealthiest of pack predators.
They find food very, very funny.
But they gangbang a lot.
Oh, yeah, that's their style.
They gangbang hard.
They can beat up lions.
I got to get into this before it ends because I wrote it down. It's very traumatic to me. As a guy who's 49, who's got a podcast that's got a video, we're on video, I found out that when you, at 47, your fucking face teabags and your balls teabag, and if you've got a vagina, your vagina drops. So I'm like, this. I used to be on steroids. Look, I did testosterone because I was low on testosterone. Then testosterone make your balls get smaller. So then take a pill to make my balls not go smaller. And then now you're telling me that my sack is gonna fucking drop and not hold my balls correctly. And then this shit. Like if I get fat, I get chins. But you're saying that I'm going to start getting a fucking sack on the side here? Wait, already do it.
Wait,
I might already do it.
Are you saying that
I got to fight. I cannot lose this fight. I did not want to be a podcaster with a pussy neck.
Did you
do something about that?
You could get into turtlenecks.
I could just wear turtle. Wait,
you could be the turtleneck podcaster.
Is it weird if I do start doing a show here? It is. Look, it looks like a.
Remember Imus
I got no neck.
Remember Imus did the button-down shirts, and then he had the kind of like
a scarfy thing.
And so does Robert Redford for the same reason, I'm sure.
Because they're hiding their testicle necks.
That's right.
So look forward to that show where I look like I'm going skiing on the podcast. A cowboy hat and a fucking scarf around my neck. I guess that's not that bad. These days, big scarfy things around your head. But I really just thought, can I not mentally, Michael, say to my neck, no balls, dude. No balls on your neck.
So you're noticing this happening to you? Or did you
I
read
just
that
saw a TikTok lady say, I'm 47.
Oh.
And did you know when you're 47 that these things, and she had crazy ones. And I was like, because, people age differently,
Sure, of
but it
course.
still doesn't mean that it means it's coming for me.
Yeah.
And then she said a pussy in her balls. And I'm like, man, I still feel young. So I don't need ball face right now. I can't have ball face right now. Not now.
No, but you'll never want it because you'll always feel young. I remember my uncle, my dear departed uncle, passed away earlier this year, was in his 80s, and he said, it fucking blows my mind. He didn't say fuck. I have potty mouth. He said, every time I look in the mirror, I'm surprised at the guy I see looking back at me. I still feel like a high school basketball player.
Stepmom said that once too. I remember it freaked me out.
Yeah.
Well, the difference is I will not, no to my face. Not yet. You can do it. I'm not saying no, not ever. I'm saying not yet. It's fucking like Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
Hold. That's what's happening right now.
Yeah.
Hold.
Well-
I'm not going to bring up my big fucking sticks until this shit gets millions of downloads. And then I can be like, ho, 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 nappy-headed hoes.
Well, a lot of people are going to tell you it can't be done, but I'm rooting for you, and I believe in you in your fight against time.
Fucking thank you. Fucking, that's all I need is one fucking person to fucking back me up on my balls not appearing on my neck. And balls, you fucking do, nah. I'll cut them off. I will cut them off. Wait,
option.
you can't. If you cut your balls off, you need your balls.
I
was
remember
told.
when my pussy started sagging.
You're a girl?
Why do you
Droopy's a
think
hermaphrodite, I
Why do you
believe.
think they call me Droopy?
I thought because you're a sad dog delivering bad news.
With a hangdog face and
No, it's because of my piss flaps.
pendulous
No.
nuts.
I had no idea.
Wow. Yeah.
You had
Dead
huge
wrong.
piss flaps. That's
Mhm.
new. Glad we got that out.
Yes. How dare you assume my gender?
Well, excuse me.
Don't you have
As
like a fucking bow tie or something?
What, you saying a chick
Yes,
can't wear a bow tie?
in the 1950s, kind of. Yeah. Yeah.
girls
well-
wear bow ties now, though.
Yeah. Paula Poundstone.
Who's Paula Poundstone?
She's my homie.
She's a stand-up comic, 80s and beyond. You'd know her if you saw her.
Okay, nice name.
Yeah. Yeah. What else you got, Droopy?
Some young men in Florida.
Young men in Florida. Sex with young men with coronavirus. My favorite.
Well, that's
Sorry.
not where this is going.
Oh.
they were living out their fantasy of making their own rap video.
Yes, a lot of kids do that.
Yes.
Very fortunate. If you're making a rap video and you're a young, youthful man, be appreciative of this day because you're one of those lucky people. You've got time to film a music video.
Well, these two would-be rappers were doing their best to emulate what they've seen in other videos.
Uh-oh.
And
Somebody shot themselves,
you
didn't
know,
they?
you know what?
What?
Unfortunately for them, that included waving guns around.
Yeah, no, that's what a lot of guys do in videos. I've seen it.
Yeah.
Sometimes they bang them together, which I always thought was crazy.
Not all the time
I'll hit
in
you with
music
my gun.
videos do one of them unfortunately fire, and the guy accidentally shot his friend in the chest.
Is that a kill shot?
Oh yeah, he's dead.
Is that
No.
video, like, does that make that song that much bigger or no?
I'm pretty sure they didn't release it. When the police arrived, the wannabe rapper told them that the gun wasn't supposed to work, and he didn't mean to shoot him.
Yeah. So I believe that. But what happens if you accidentally shoot your friend in the chest on video in a rap video? Do you go attempted murder or do they go, man, you got to live with that for the rest of your life? That's it.
I'm pretty sure you're in deep, deep trouble. The cops did not buy his story, and he was arrested.
On the bright side,
Mhm.
he is, if he made an album, he's a murderer now.
Yes.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
It's
he's got
popular.
some cred. He should
Yeah.
probably you should just stick to emulating rappers like Will Smith.
What
They
about if
make
he
much
runs
safer
with-
music videos?
He's like, I like that guy. Imagine what I'd do to you. He runs that game. Like, I killed my best friend.
Yeah.
it's gonna be a long time probably before he gets out of prison.
Right.
But he could
Before
do-
he can cash in on the silver lining to involuntary manslaughter.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah,
Shine
who knows
did.
what hip hop was gonna look like those days.
Look how big Shine is now.
Well, Shine could, Michael, Shine could have been huge, but Shine decided to not rap anymore and become
He found the Lord.
a Lord guy. Shout out to the Lord.
And finally today, Jason, you know what?
What?
Have you ever seen that show Wipeout?
I love Wipeout. I don't know why I'm bringing the microphone back, but I feel like I'm about to yell. Go ahead.
That's the show where they get a bunch of goofs to jump around on an obstacle course.
I'm pissed that
and
we're not in it.
they have giant bouncy balls and
If you're listening,
Wait.
Wipeout, put us in. We'll go. I'll go full tilt.
they have spring-loaded boxing gloves that will punch you in the face when you walk by.
Delightful.
Pies in the face.
Man,
things
I
of
wish I had that
nature.
in my house.
Well, when they were filming an episode, one contestant completed the course and finished, but his celebration was short-lived
They
when
didn't
he
kill him, did they?
dropped dead of a heart attack.
When neighboring teens filming a rap video.
Wait, he was like, yeah, I did it, and then went, oh,
Yes. And I'm pretty sure that counts as a wipeout.
I don't even know why, but
No. Has Droopy's bad news always been this dark?
yeah, right. This is the first one we've done for free on iTunes, and you're really scaring people.
No, you're right. Usually Droopy's bad news is about people winning the lottery and celebration.
That's what I'm talking about.
Fuck face. I see what he did there. It's fair. So it's like we had it coming, you know?
Well, this has been today's installment of Droopy's bad news.
You go, girl.
Fuck yeah!
All right.
All right. We have a new outro, huh?
Yeah, we do. So thanks everybody for tuning in to the Jason Ellis Show. We'll be back next week. Make sure you like and subscribe and tell everybody motherfuckers don't die.
Bing, boing, poing, 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 poing. Poing, poing, poing.
Boing, 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 boing. Meow, 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 meow. Fucking meow,
Big fat poem.
Fucking Big fat Fucking Plans. Bing boing Plans. Plum fucking Plans.
Bing boing
Big fat Plans. Fucking Plans.